I think if you've got a gun, you should be ashamed of yourself. I really do.
So the mayor of Grand Rapids in Michigan, David LaGrand, just said if you own a gun, you should be ashamed of yourself. Listen to this shit.
Nobody gardens with a gun, right? Nobody changes their tire with a gun. What they're for is killing human beings. And so it's really hard. I think as a community, we have to start having some shaming around gun possession. I think if you've got a gun, you should be ashamed of yourself. I really do. Now, I'm sorry, that's going to be the soundbite of the night, and the NRA is going to be mad at me. But I get that we got a Second Amendment. I get it. But, you also should be ashamed of yourself if you smoke. That's not against the law. I think if you own a gun, you should be ashamed of yourself. And you should really do some self-reflection. And I think that I just see so much more harm, just like cigarettes. I see so much more harm done than benefit.
You should be ashamed? No. You should be ashamed if you're such a disrespectful coward that you rely on someone else's son, husband, or father to come save your ass when violence kicks in your door at 2 a.m. That's who should be ashamed. Like, people, come on. Like, can we stop electing people who live in La La Land? Like, seriously, any adult in 2026, anyone over the age of 15 who thinks like this should not be in positions of power. You are mentally a child if you think like this. The idea that you're gonna shame people away from guns and then what? What do you think you've created after that? You think criminals are sitting around going, you know what? The mayor is right. I feel bad. I'm gonna turn in my guns tomorrow. You know who shame works on? Law-abiding people. That's it. So you're not talking to criminals, you're talking to me. You're talking to fathers, you're talking to mothers, you're talking to people who just want to protect themselves, and you're telling them they should be ashamed. And let's be clear, because he doubled down.
I think if you've got a gun, you should be ashamed of yourself. I really do. Now, I'm sorry, that's going to be the soundbite of the night, and the NRA is going to be mad at me. But I get that we got a Second Amendment. I get it. But, you also should be ashamed of yourself.
Ashamed for what? For protecting my family? Wait, is Grand Rapids devoid of violent crime? No, I'm sure there was a murder days ago, a carjacking days ago, a rape days ago. So who exactly are you talking to? Because it's not the criminals. It's never the criminals with you people. It's always the legal gun owners, always. And then this nonsense.
It changes their tire with a gun. What they're for is killing human beings. And so it's really hard. I think as a community, we have to start having some shaming around gun possession.
Bro, what are you even talking about? Nobody changes a tire with a gun? Nobody uses a seatbelt to brush their teeth either. That's not what it's for. You don't own a gun to change a tire. You own a gun for the worst day of your life. You own it for the moment when someone decides your life doesn't matter. That's the point. And then the cigarette comparison, cigarettes? What are we doing? Smoking provides literally no benefit, none. Self-defense does. Protecting your kids does. Protecting your wife does. Protecting your own life does. Those are not the same category of things. That comparison is stupid. It's not nuanced. It's not clever. It's just stupid. And here's what really gets me. You're sitting there protected by men with guns, police officers, security, and you're telling me I should be ashamed for wanting the same protection in my own home? So it's okay for guns when they protect you, but shameful when they protect me. Make that make sense. Imagine this. You're at home, 2 a.m. You hear someone kicking in your door. Your wife looks at you and says, honey, do something. And the first thing you do is grab your cell phone and call another man with a gun to come save your family? Bro, that's pathetic. I don't care how it sounds, it's pathetic. And I don't say that as some tough guy. I'm not a tough guy, but if your entire plan for protecting your family is hoping someone else shows up in time, that's weak. And then you have the nerve to tell me I should be ashamed. No, you should be ashamed that your entire plan for protecting your family is a fucking cell phone. You're an adult talking like a child. That is the mentality of a child. You can't change a tire with it. You can't change a tire with it? What? And then let's talk about projection. If you are a man who is afraid of violence in this society, you are useless to the people who depend on you. I'm not saying go look for violence. I'm not saying make it your first option. I'm saying if you are afraid of it, to the point where you want to shame everyone else who prepares for it, that's projection. And then you project that on the women. You're telling women who live alone that they should be ashamed for owning a gun for protection? So what is your plan for them? Who's showing up for them? Minutes when they need seconds. Oh, and by the way, this is the same guy who wore this at a meeting once during COVID. Nothing that comes out of his mouth about risk, courage, or responsibility is credible. Nothing. And then he says he's seen more harm than good. More harm than good. Over 60,000 to 1 million people every year use a gun defensively. Every year. Every fucking year. Sounds like a use case to me. If prison doesn't stop criminals, how in the hell do you think shaming them is going to stop them? Did you think this through? Or are you just trying to sound morally superior? Because that's what this sounds like, moral superiority, not leadership. This is a degenerate, perverted sense of pacifism. That's what it is. It's childish, it's emotional, and it's unserious as fuck. And it's embarrassing. Protecting your life is not shameful. Protecting your family is not shameful. Being prepared for evil is not shameful. Telling Americans they should be ashamed for exercising a constitutional right, now that is shameful. Oh, and for those wondering where to get this Defend America hat, we also have them in shirts, we have them in hoodies, we have them in drinkware. Hit the link in the description section of this video. Shop.mrcolion.com and grab your Defend America hat, merch, you name it. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.